Okay, so now you know how to use Marvelous Designer. It's time to actually use Marvelous Designer. And the first thing we're going to do is going to make a basic t-shirt. Now, there are two types of t-shirts that you can make in Marvelous Designer: an all-in-one t-shirt or a multi. Actually, you know what? Hold on one more time. I just realized that I have a little fan over here. Oh my god, so much better. It is so hot. It's already 7 o'clock and it's still 80 degrees. Udge. Okay, so sorry. Ugh. Sorry. Okay, so like I was saying before I died from heat, there are two types of t-shirts that you can make inside of Marvelous Designer. One is an all-in-one pattern, which is pretty much the easy peasy, and then there's a little more challenging is a two part, which is actually a bodice and the sleeves, which is the proper way of making a t-shirt. I prefer more, really now, I really do like making a two-part better, so I'm just going to teach you that. Well, actually, I think I'll teach you both forms. And then with pants, there's only one way to make a pants, just draw the pants. So we're going to dive in and I'm going to teach you that method. Okay, so here we go. We're going to open up our polygon tool, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the all-in-one t-shirt. This is a fast, quick t-shirt where you just go, and we're going to work on that. So what you want to do is start at the neckline where you want your collar to be, and we're going to create it right here on our fold line, which is our cement, this line that's going right through your avatar. That's our fold line, so we want to start there. So we're going to start how deep you want the neck to be. Then we're going to go up to the top of the shoulder, and then how long you want it to be over the shoulder, so right here. Next, we're going to develop the sleeve, and that's going to be how long you want the sleeve to be. So it's a t-shirt, so about right here. Next, we're going to say how tight we want the t-shirt to be. So you always want to give it at least a half. Let me see if I can zoom in. You want to give it at least a half a block wide. That way, it's like putting it right here is too tight. So you want to be at least a little bit of room. So right there, if you want. Then want to go up the armpit. And then next is the length of how long you want the shirt to be. So if you wanted the crop top, you would be here. You want a t-shirt, you can be here. You want a t-shirt dress, so it can be down here. Now, just remember that you have to compensate for all the butt that avatar has in the back. So you want to make it a little bit, like if you're making a t-shirt, you want to make it a little bit longer than you want to. But you don't want to make it too long when it comes into a t-shirt dress, because then that changes how you're going to have to rig it. So let's try to stay like maybe right here above the waist. Then we're going to go into our middle again, our fold line, and then go back to the first dot. So we have our t-shirt. Next we're going to do is select the middle fold line that's right here, and we're going to unfold it, and then that should give us that. Then with this, we're going to create a copy of the pattern. Actually, first we're going to select this little dot right here in the middle. We don't need that, so click it and then press delete on your keyboard, and then copy, and then paste, and then you got your t-shirt. So next, one of the rules with Marvelous Designer 2 is that if it goes behind the avatar, it needs to be flipped, because if you don't flip it, you'll end up with an invisible mesh when you go to put it in second life. And we don't want that. We want our backs to show. You don't want to be like my other student who just had a front part and everything else was booty, which was hilarious. But I tried not to laugh, but secretly I was laughing. Okay, so what we're going to do is right click on the back part of our pattern, and we're going to hit flip horizontally and send it back there. Now we're just going to drag her back there and then line it. So we want to put this as close to the body as we can. We don't want it to be all the way back there, because when it goes to sewing it, it's going to drag all the way here, and then this part's going to be dragging here, and the next thing you know, you got a t-shirt forming somehow around your torso, missing your arms altogether. So you want to keep it close to the body when you're going to start sewing. Speaking of sewing, we're going to do segment sewing in this, which is this little button right here in the 3D window. This will allow us to create our garment. So you're going to click one edge and then select another one, and it creates these seams. Now don't worry if your colors are not the same as mine. Marvelous Designer generates the colors randomly, so you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to sew our arms together. Make sure that the armhole is not sewn, because you Your arm has to go through there. Whoops. Hey, check this out. Sometimes you may notice that when you're sewing, the lines may get twisted like this. This is not an ideal situation. You want to make sure that these lines are always straight like this. Marvelous Designer does not like twisted lines because these lines are telling Marvelous Designer what to do. So when they're straight like this, what it's saying is take this edge and then bring them close together. When they're twisted like this, it's saying take this edge and then twist them up in the middle right here, and then that will produce a result that's not good. So how do you deal with this when this happens? Well, first you can either do Control Z, hit that a couple times until it goes, and then re-sew it, and then you got nice straight lines. But let's say you noticed it when you're deep inside your project and you can't twist it. Let me see if I can purposely twist my lines. Okay. So let's say you're deep in your project and Control Z is way too late and you can't do it. So we can fix that by selecting this box right here, which is Edit Seam Lines. And we will select this, right click on it, and then select Reverse Seam Line. And it will straighten your lines out for you. So make sure, you keep all your stuff straight and you sew everything properly. So we're going to keep sewing. Just keep sewing. Just keep sewing. Sewing until... Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure if I actually hit record because that happened a couple times. Alright, so we're going to sew until we get everything together. Oops, twist it. No good. Straight. Alright, everything is sewn and straight, and now we just need to start the simulation. So we're going to just press the play button and tell it to go, and then boom, you got yourselves a t-shirt right here, man. Now it may be a little bright so we can't see it, so we're just going to select the fabric, select the patterns in the 2D window, then go over to the properties editor and select fabric, and then you'll have color. Click this, and then we can make it into something that is, ooh, my eyes, Uncle Roger orange. And then you have it. Now as you can see, your body may clip through the but that's not a big deal. All you have to do is take your white arrow, click on the part that's clipping through, grab it, and then there you go. Pull on it a little bit until everything pops out. But also remember that you can edit it in Blender. So, it's not a big deal if you keep pulling and it doesn't work. So this is the fast, simple t-shirt pattern that I like to go to. You can edit the collar so that get out of here, you CC cleaner. This ain't sponsored. You can actually edit your collar so that it looks better. So I like to just delete that in the back so I have it straight. And if you feel like this is too triangular for your taste, just delete this, and then we use our curvature, and then we can pull it down a bit, and then you get a nice smooth collar versus that. Now this pattern is totally fine to use when you're making a t-shirt. There's no problem with it whatsoever. I like the 2-arm one. What's the word? What was it? The second method of making t-shirts, because sometimes I want a t-shirt that has different color sleeves than the garment, because sometimes those t-shirts are fun. And this will allow you to do so. If you had it like this, you would have to try to select all of the sleeves right here and then assign them their own material, and that's a lot of work for something that you could have fixed when you were in here. Oh, before we go on to making that t-shirt, so I'm going to teach you how to do that next. But before you go into that, I just want to let you guys know that this pattern that you make over here is your UV mapping for the t-shirt. So you don't have to worry about unwrapping it or anything like that, because it's already done. So let's get rid of this pattern and make a proper bodice sleeve one that I was talking about, the second version of it. So just like before, we're going to make our t-shirt bodice. We're going to do the thing, and then the thing happens. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is start off with our bodice, and just like our t-shirt, we're going to determine where we want to start at, and we always start at with the collar, how deep you want it to go. So right here again, up on the upper shoulder, down to the end of the shoulder right here. And instead of going down the arm to make the sleeve, we're just going to go straight down and go underneath the armpit. Then to the waist, and then again how long you want the shirt to be. Meet back in the middle of our fold line, and then touch base at the first dot. We're going to select our white arrow, select that middle pattern, and unfold. Now delete the center folding dot right here. Right click on the pattern and press copy. Right click again and then hit paste. Take our back pattern, flip it, put it behind our body, and then just leave it there for right now. We'll sew it in a minute. Next thing we need to do is create our sleeve. Now I know this is an improper sleeve. The right one is supposed to have curves and all the rest of that jazz, but like I said, easy peasy in this channel. So what we're going to do is go here and just create a line straight down the shoulder here, and then down the arm is how long you want it, up, and then back at the front. So it's just kind of like a trapezoid, if you will. So right click, copy, paste, and then we'll put it right here above it. Alright, so this is a tricky part. So what I need to do for the back, because if we try to flip it horizontally, you see it's actually in the wrong direction, so we can't sew it like that. So how do we do that? So I'm going to just copy and paste it again. We're going to actually do a mirror paste and paste it this way, so that when we go to flip it horizontally, it's in the right direction. So take that. Alright, so we have those behind us, and we're going to select these two. So I'm going to select this pattern, hold down shift, select the other one, then I press copy and then paste, so that we have it on the other side. Although I think we should do a mirror paste on it too. So I'm going to try that again. Mirror paste and see how that works out. There we go. That's what we like. And then do the same thing. Flip this one horizontally and put this behind us. Alright, so now it's time for us to start sewing. So grab that segment sewing box and start putting your seams together. So we're going to start by sewing the sleeve here. And then grab this top and sew here. Go under here and sew there. Is that straight? Nope, it's twisted. Straight lines, everybody. Straight lines. Sewing here. Sewing there. Sewing, sewing, sewing everywhere. So, how you guys liking this method? Seems so advanced, right? But the glorious thing about this one is that you can make different types of sleeves without affecting the whole garment. I really wish I would have saved that one so I can give an example about how much better this one is, but I guess you could just take my word for it, right? So, oh, we missed a seam back here, and so I know there are buttons you could probably press to make it swirl around a lot easier, but I always feel like it's more artistic to just swing your camera around and sew. Like those photographers who roll and jump strategically across the floor. It's the same thing. Okay, so as you see, we pretty much have the exact same shirt, but it's a lot more flexible, structurally sound, or it's better. So let's get our Uncle Roger orange on. And we can pull out this from here, and we do this. Pull out here, pull out there, and pull it down if we want to. Again, if you think that the neck is too deep in the back, we can just delete the back and then, curve it a little. It's exactly the same. Curve it a bit, and do the same thing down here in the chest. Now, damn that boob. Now, if you find that even though you pull, and it's not working, we can actually change how the pattern lays on the body through the avatar, properties. So we can right click on our avatar and then select avatar properties, and then switch over to basic. And it lets you choose how close the patterns will stick to the body or lay on the body. So you have the offset. Right now it's at 3, So if we were to change it to, I don't know, maybe 5, you see that it puffs away from the body and it's not being held so close to it. Whereas if we were to put it down all the way to like 1, you see it's really close and tight to the body and clipping into it. So that's something to think about when you're working on your garment. Do not, under any circumstances, pull your PD down to make a higher, a dense garment to make it fit. That is bad. Bad. People already talk about Marvel designer people, and that is one reason why. So don't you dare do that. Work with the properties and make the garment fit that way. Do not mess with your PD, for God's sake. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on you like that, but I've had to deal with people with PD5 shirts and wondering why Second Life was exploding. I bet you're wondering, like, hey, Zara, what is this PD you're talking about? Okay, so I guess I can do a little side step and teach you about PD real quick. So PD is also known as particle distance. It's what makes, what determines how many triangles is inside of your shirt. Your garment. It's right here. So by default, with this Marvel Designer gives you a PD of 20, which is pretty good. The higher your PD is, the less triangles are used to simulate your garment. So if we were to turn the PD up to like 50, you see it becomes more low poly, but and you probably have to do some work on there. But if you turn your PD down, the lower the PD is, the more dense your garment is. So let's see what PD 10 looks like, and you see it's chocked full of triangles and everything is slowing down because it has so many triangles in it. You don't want that, because the more triangles your garment has, the more it'll take for Second Life to work it. So it makes it heavy, and you don't want that. You don't want to be that person who crashes a sim because they got a 200 triangle shirt. Good lord. Alright, so don't do that. Don't even dingle with it. Wait till you're a little more mature and you understand that. Then you mess with it. Okay, so why I like the sleeve thing is because we can make different types of sleeves and stuff without affecting the whole bodice. Because if it was the all-in-one pattern, if we were to try to make the sleeves longer, we would drag the bodice of the garment down, so it would be like that, like really bad. It's just bad altogether. So don't even use the first one that I taught you. Just always make t-shirts like this. Alright, so I'm going to organize our patterns because, like I said before, this is our UV map. So we want to make sure everything is nice and clear and have gaps in between it, so that way if we have to manipulate it into Blender, it's easy to select them without interrupting with the other one. So you want to make sure everything is nice and simple. Okay, so that is our shirts. We have to do pants. Pants is pretty much the exact same thing as shirts, except for you're doing it on your lower half instead of your upper half. So, grab our grab our polygon tool and start up high, because like I said earlier, this character has the buns so we need to be up a little bit high to compensate for all that, but you can always pull it down later if you want. So we're going to start right here, kind of at her center, and we're going to hold down shift and make a straight line down just below the groin area. Now you can either go left or right, whichever you want, but I like the backwards L because that was just how I remembered it. So make a backwards L up against the thigh. And then we're going to hold down shift, and then this is going to determine how long our pants leg is going to be. So we're going to make a full-on kind of like legs. Alright, so once we go to how long we want our leg to do, we're going to do like our shirt, and we're going to put our next marking across from the leg depending on how tight we want the pants to be. So click it right here. Then we're going to just make our way back up. So right up here, and then across the body, and then hold down shift. Don't hold down shift. And make a line back to the first dot. Now that may happen, your clothes may fall. Don't worry about it. Just pause the simulation, right click on it, and say rearrange pattern, and she'll pop right back up. Okie doke. So what we need to do next is flip it just like we did with our t-shirt. So select your fold line, right click, unfold. Now one thing that's very important to do is to scroll all the way in, and you see this fold line dot that's right here. We're going to delete that, because if we left it there, we would have to make two sew, like when we're sewing our pattern, to sew here and sew there to prevent your crotch from blowing out. So you want to make sure that this middle dot is deleted so that we have only one thing to sew inside there. I also like to delete this top part right here, so make a nice pant pattern. And then, like before, we're going to copy and then paste. Oops. Paste. And then flip. Put it behind you. And so, you know, I just remembered the program that I was missing from the list of materials. And that is ZBrush. I totally forgot about ZBrush. That's what we're going to use, because this is going to be the first ones where I teach you guys about retopology. Ooh. I think. I'm not sure if I still have the installation for it. I may have to download it again. Shoot. You may get it. You may not. Depends on the next video. Alright, so get between the legs and sew. It looks straight to me. Yeah, straight. Okay. I lost the model. Hello, lady? How do you reset your camera? Front. There we go. Alright, now we're going to press play and simulate, and then boom, there you go. We got a pair of pants. Now, as you see, your pants will eclipse your shirt if you have it like this, and that moves us on to the next topic, which is layers. So Marvelous Designer works on a layering system, which allows you to say, well, basically how your clothes are layered. So I'm going to just click on this and show you what I mean. So right now we have our pants on, which white pants? Oh, no. We are edgy here. We want black pants. Yeah. Alright. That's a Pokemon color. This is a Pokemon thing. If you guys know it, let me know, because I know a Pokemon person wears orange and black. Alright, it's Halloween for now. Okay, so right now we have our pants, and they are on the same layer as our t-shirt. So it just goes on whichever came first. So they're like this. The pants are on top. Now say we want our pants to be tucked in, like our shirt to be on top of our pants. So what we need to do is select our shirt. I'm not sure if you could just use the bodice or anything, but I just select the whole shirt just to be sure. And then we go down to the layer and we move it from 0 to 1. And you see the shirt pops out in front of it. So now, that's it. Pretty much the higher the layer, the more on top the clothes are. So this will help you make more garments and keep things on. So if you wanted to make a jacket or something, you would put that on, like if this is layer 1, and then put it on layer 2, and then you would have a whole layered garment going on here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's Marvelous Designer in a nutshell. So you made your t-shirts, you made your pants. Let's correct our UV map so it looks nice and pretty. Remember to leave gaps in between things so you can select them later. So we have our t-shirt, we have our pants. Now all we have to do next is export it out into, so we export it out of Marvelous so we can rig it in Blender. So what I want to do is go to File, Export OBJ, find the class, not this one, this isn't the right folder. Find our work folder, name it Clothes, and then put it on, select the little M, unify UV coordinates, remove collapsed cloth, and make sure that only cloth shape is selected. We don't want the OBJ avatar because then we'll have two bodies in there, and that's confusing as all get out. So make sure just cloth shape is selected, and then hit OK. Now you also may want to save this, that way you can share this with friends or open it up and make modifications if you want to. And to save it, we need to save it as a project folder file. So you want to go to File, Save As, Project, and then save it wherever your work folder is. So save. Now you can open it up and you have all your stuff here. Oh, there is one thing that I meant to tell you to help you out with your projects later on. So just in case you want to, you don't want to go through the process of importing your avatar in as an OBJ every time, you can actually save your avatar by going to File, Save As, Avatar, and then your mannequin is already there and ready for you inside of your you know, your folder waiting for you to load it in. So you don't even have to go into Blender and export it every time, or go to your project folder and do the imports and make sure that the scale is right. You just open up an avatar file, and then there you go. You have your avatar already for you. So it's something I forgot to tell you, but it adds in a little bit of ease. Okay, that's everything. We're going to go back over to Blender and, you know, put our body in. Now the Blender we're going to is Blender 2.72, my favorite, and I'll show you the fast way of rigging clothes. So see you later.